Hey, Stan The Annuity Man, America's annuity agent, here with you to talk about a subject that I know that you're sitting there going, oh, I don't even want to talk about this, but I'm glad you did. I'm glad you hit the video. We're going to talk about long-term care annuity pros and cons. We're going to get into that. The short answer to you, the pro is that you're going to have that coverage. It's a transfer of risk that you can depend upon, just like any type of annuity type plan. It's a transfer risk contractual guarantee. I guess the con would be annuities aren't the perfect product. Even though you're going to hear that they are, they're not the perfect product to solve for long-term care. That is actually traditional long-term care, which I don't sell, but that is the best coverage still when it comes to long-term care. So hang in there with me. There's going to be a really neat musical interlude when I step away to look for my pen to go to the whiteboard. And then we're going to talk about long-term care annuity pros and cons and kind of the types that are out there. Okay, long-term care annuity pros and cons. Just to repeat, my opinion, Stan the Annuity Man, America's annuity agent, licensed in all 50 states, even yours. Traditional long-term care is still the best policy out there. I know there's a lot of people trying to sell you life insurance with long-term care coverage inside of it, but traditional long-term care is still the best coverage. Now, a lot of people can't qualify for that, and a lot of people don't want to just put monthly premium amounts into a long-term care policy that they don't know they'll ever use. It's kind of like car insurance or fire insurance or flood insurance or any type of those type of insurance policies that you might have. You might not use it, but that's not the reason you have it. You have it is in case you do need to use it, which is why me and you were talking about long-term care. So let's go through, just in general, from a 30,000 foot view, some of the products that are out there for you from the annuity side. We'll talk about the pros and cons. You can always contact me at stantheannuityman.com and we can put together a plan for you. So let's kind of go through some of the long-term care annuities. So we're talking about annuities solving for long-term care. And typically, to trigger long-term care is when you can't do 2 of the 6 daily functions of life, which is feed yourself, clothe yourself, bathe yourself, those type of things that me and you are saying, wow, that's not good. When that happens, it's not good. But that's kind of what triggers some of the benefits for the annuity products. And of course, annuity companies are not all the same, and not all the products are the same, and not all the products are uniform. But I'm going to kind of give you a feel for it. A lot of the stuff that's being sold out right now is attached to what's called an income rider. So it's an income rider attached to either a variable annuity or a fixed indexed annuity. This is the bad chicken dinner seminar stuff where the guy says, or gal says, hey, you get this income rider, you get free long-term care, you get a lifetime income stream. The long-term care part is wrong. It's called confinement care. And what they do with these riders is typically there's a percentage that it grows by for a specific period of time. And then there's an income stream amount that's based on your life expectancy at the time you take the payment. The older you are, the higher the payment, right? Just like Social Security. But the income rider for long-term care, in this case, it's confinement care in most cases. I know you're saying, Stan, semantics, what are you talking about? There's a difference. But we're talking about coverage, so let's not get in the weeds here. So let's just say your income stream is $5,000 a month. A lot of the income riders out there that offer this confinement care benefit, they'll double that for, say, 5 years to $10,000 a month. Now, before you start high-fiving yourself out there and going, hey man, that sounds fantastic. Remember that any type of income stream from an annuity, you're getting your money back with interest. So in essence, what they're saying to you is, because you qualify for this additional coverage because you're sick and not doing well, we're going to give you money back quicker. We're in essence going to shorten your projected life expectancy. That's the way to look at it. Okay, so this is a guaranteed issue product. No testing, no nothing. It sounds good in the bad chicken dinner seminar. Is it perfect? No. In a perfect world where all the planets align themselves and the unicorns chase the butterflies, secondary coverage. Okay. Now, there's also what's called a long-term care annuity, and that's what it's called. It's a healthcare product. This is a life insurance product. That's a healthcare product. So you need a health license to sell it. But in essence, what it does is let's just say you put in $100,000. You have to get on the phone with that carrier, whichever one you choose. There's a handful of them, and go through like a 20 question and answer. Now, if you're really sick, they're not going to give it to you. You know, annuity companies, they like to insure healthy people, right? But let's just say they do approve it. They're going to give you a multiple. Let's say X stands for multiple of that. So let's just say they give you a 2.5 times multiple based upon, so you're going to get $250,000 of long-term care coverage. And that's fantastic. So you can take it from there, but if you don't need it, then you in essence have a crappy CD getting a low interest rate that goes to your family. So you're not going to lose a penny, etc. Which is what drives a lot of people crazy about traditional long-term care. Is you give them the money, you give them the money, you give them the money, and then you never use it. My father, I'll give you a story. My father just recently passed away. It was about a year and a half ago, and they had paid into long-term care, and they called me every year when the premiums went up and go, "Hey Stan, should we still pay for the long-term care?" I'm like, "Yes, it's a transfer of risk, Mom and Dad, come on." You know, they're ex-basketball coaches, and they don't know anything. But I love them, and so they paid for it. But my father, when he got really sick at the end, they applied for it. I said, "You need to apply for it." By the time it was approved, you know, he had passed. And my mom's like, "That was a ripoff." Of course she said that. She's from the South. And I'm like, "No, it's not ripoff. We're going to keep it on you because there's a good chance that you might live a lot longer and need it." So it doesn't work out perfectly. It's like anything in life. I mean, you can look back at a lot of your financial decisions and say, "Man, I shouldn't have done that." But what you're doing, remember, long-term care is you're transferring the risk for that coverage. So, you know, it still works when it doesn't work. How about that? It's a peace of mind product, correct? Absolutely. Last thing, I want to just kind of talk, me and you just talking one-on-one about the realities of long-term care. And it's not a good topic for a lot of people to talk about because you're talking about your demise. But just remember a couple of things. It's not an investment, it's a transfer of risk. And number two, when you kind of qualify for this coverage, you're probably going to live an average of 3 years and a maximum of 7. That's what the stats say. I know that's horrific and you're sitting there going, "Man, that's tough." Hey, but it is what it is. With that being said, one of the videos I just did, you probably should watch too, which is, do rich people buy an annuity? Do rich people buy annuities? The answer is, you'd be surprised that really, really wealthy people buy annuities. I had a client recently, I literally had $50 million in the stock market, and he bought one of these confinement care riders. I'm like, "I don't think you need it," but he wanted to transfer risk because he's a planner, he's a box checker. You might be a box checker too. So with that being said, I would encourage you to go to my site, stantheannuityman.com, if you want more information, books, podcasts, all kinds of videos. In fact, subscribe, because I do one per day, Monday through Friday, of these videos, shooting them all the time. My producer in the background is nodding their head in disgust. We're always filming, but we're trying to educate the public on annuities and what they do and what they don't do so you can make an informed decision. So with that, hope to see you next time.